I want to give my apologies to you guys in this episode. I haven't been putting out content regularly, and that's because I don't have internet right now. I've been without internet for about 2 months, well, over 2 months at this point. So I have not been able to upload videos. I have 3 or 4 episodes filmed. I have 1 episode finished, edited, and it's this one that's coming out now. And then, you know, I always have time to film, and I always have time to edit, but I don't have any time to go somewhere where there's internet to sit for a couple hours to upload videos. So hopefully soon my internet will come back and I will be posting videos more regular. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Empire of Junk. Today we're going to be taking a look at this heater I kept talking about. We're going to get it wired up today, we're going to get the exhaust ran, and we're going to take care of the one propane leak I have. We'll also be running power in this episode. I'm going to try to consolidate 2 into 1 here, so that way we can get on to doing some other stuff and I can get off this barn project for a while. I do want to say this now, if you're coming to this video for a DIY, this is not a DIY. I am not a professional in installing gas furnaces, nor am I a professional installing vent pipe. This is purely for entertainment purposes. If you get something good out of this, fine, but don't follow what I do. Follow the instructions, and if you are not comfortable with installing a gas furnace, call a professional. First, it's about time to get this mess cleaned up. I need a little bit more floor space. It was better than it was, but doing the door, it got messy again. So if I can get this cleaned up, I have a bench I can slide on in here, and I'll have more room to work. So that's what we'll be taking a look at today. Just because this is the Empire of Junk doesn't mean it has to look like an Empire of Junk. I did take some time and cleaned up. I still got things I'm going to have to work around, but that's, you know, working in a small space, that's what you get. What I do have right now in my garage, I have a roll-around workbench. I'm going to roll in here. I'm going to put it against that wall for now. Now I got my bench in here from the garage. It took a little while. I had a lot of stuff to move. I had a whole transmission tore apart on this, so I had to put it in a box and clean all the grease off it. But now I have my pipe laid out on it. I do have a little dilemma. The instructions say 2 different things. The vent instructions for the furnace say to run this at an uphill angle and put this little piece of pipe here with a little drain on it. The instructions for the actual vent kit don't have that drain pipe in it. They tell you to run it at a downhill angle. So I did what the instructions for the furnace said, and I pieced together my own kit. I didn't buy the kit. And I added in this piece of pipe right here. So I'm going to run this at an uphill angle, 1/4 inch per every foot. And then I'll just have a piece of pipe coming off here into a loop, and then have water or something in there. I got to see how they actually do it, but I think they put water in there so the gas can't escape. And in theory, it should have water in there anyway because of the condensation from the vent. Now, I ran into a bit of an issue. This is the adapter bracket for the back of the furnace. This is supposed to slide into the back, and then this clamp slides up and tightens around the whole back, or the pipe coming out of the back half of the furnace. Well, this is the bracket that they said to use, and I confirmed it by the number that was on this tag here. This diameter here is the same diameter as what's on the furnace. So I'm going to take some tin snips, and I don't recommend this, but I'm going to take some tin snips and cut this to shrink it a little bit, put it in there, tighten this down, and then there's a couple holes up there for screws. I'm going to zip some steel or sheet metal screws in it, and then I'm going to tape it with the heat rated, exhaust pipe rated aluminum tape. Okay, so here's what I did. I got it in as far as I could. I tightened up the clamp, and then I'm going to take some sheet metal screws and run them through on a couple sides, and I'm going to take that exhaust rated tape and secure it around here, but it's in there pretty good. It's actually not the pipe that's moving, but the inner fixture that this secures to is what's actually moving. So this is relatively secure. So I want to run you through a little bit what I did. I put the 45 on there to get it pointing toward the wall so I knew where it was going to run. The bottom of this pipe here is 93.5 inches, and it needs a 1/4 inch of slope per foot. Now I took from the ground up, I measured 93.5, and because this wall is 2 foot from the unit, I added a 1/2 inch because it's 1/4 inch per foot, so we got 2 feet, so we come up a 1/2 inch, and then from there I come down another inch. And why I did that is the thimble is a 6-inch pipe, so this main pipe here that's coming through the wall is 4 inch, so you add an inch on either side and then you get 6 inch. So here's the top, here's the bottom. Luckily my pipe runs square in the middle of this 2x4, so I can start drilling with the hole saw on this side, get this chunk out of the way, and then I can come from the back side and drill the other way. I forgot to turn that camera on for that last little part, but you didn't miss nothing but me struggling for 5 minutes. I got through the steel siding on the outside. That was the hardest part. Now we're going to put the thimble in place, and then I might have to do some work on the back side just because of the ribbing of the siding. Okay, I've got the pipe in. It's just resting there. The tabs aren't, connected or anything. I got the thimble resting, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to check for propane leaks because I know I have one, and I'm going to check for that, find that, fix it. Then we're going to wire up the heater, and then we're going to test it. I want to see how hot this thimble gets before I seal it up, because if I need to leave more room, I will. But for right now, we're going to test that and see how it works. Also, my my rise for my pipe is not quite right because it's sitting at the bottom of that thimble. It doesn't fit snugly in the thimble like I thought. So I'll just take some stainless steel and shim the bottom of it up. Got this cord from Menards, and I'm going to take and wire this cord up to the heater up there. And then I almost forgot, we also have to put the thermostat in. And just a simple thermostat, Honeywell. They actually recommend, and they're a little harder to find, they do exist, that you get one that goes all the way down to 35 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's for in your barns. If you were in a house, they recommend a little different. My guess is that's for your a little bit colder adjustments. Let's say if I wanted it 38 degrees in here, I just wanted to keep it above freezing, 38, 35, I could set it there and not have it shut off. Obviously this has a heat and an off switch. Well, no video would feel complete without a trip to the hardware store because I forgot something. I don't have thermostat wire. I thought the kit included it. It does not. The furnace kit did not include it, and looking at it now, it makes sense that it wouldn't. So it's off to the hardware store for me. Okay, I'm back from the store. I got thermostat wire. I wired it up temporarily. I didn't film any of it because there wasn't really much to show. But I got it temporarily wired in the box along with a short run of thermostat wire. I'll probably just put this here for now. It's really not going to matter where it's at until I get this more insulated. But I took that, put a little rise in that pipe with I took a 1/2 inch drill bit and shoved it in there just to get it up off the bottom. So we're going to start it and see what happens. Okay, I put you guys on a tripod in case stuff starts going down and I need the pan. So I'm having a little issue. It's kicking on. I hear the burner lighting, but it's not staying lit. So I'm going to do some research into this and see what I have going on. It's burning off all that stuff from the factory, but it's not putting out heat like it should. So I have a feeling that my gas pressure is not set adequately, but it is burning a nice blue flame in here. Well, it wouldn't be the Empire junk if I didn't need to make a second trip to the hardware store. So the heater's working. I got it putting out some heat. It got it to about 45 in here. I don't know what it's supposed to be set at, but there is a meter you are supposed to set these with, and I don't have one. Basically, it's got water in it, and you measure the pressure in inches of water column. Well, when I converted this over to propane, I turned it in the set number of screws it told me to, but apparently you're supposed to still let the unit turn on, let's see what your pressure is, and then adjust it until you get up to 10 inches. So I'm going to go to the hardware store, buy a fitting for the gas valve. I'm going to buy some clear hose, and we're going to take that and check the pressure, because I know that heater is not putting out the heat that it's supposed to. So I'll run back to the store, and while I'm there I'll get everything I forgot to get in my first trip. While I'm back from the store, I got everything I needed to make my manometer. That's apparently the proper pronunciation for it. I got it here on the board, just a simple one. I got all my markings. I, however, went to put in my fitting and it does not fit. It's half a hole off because this outer piece right here is too big. So what I'm going to do for today is I'm going to get back up there. I'm going to put the plug back in, and then I'm just going to turn the gas valve out another half turn. I'll run it a little detuned. I turned my gas valve out another half a turn, and I don't notice any more improvement with it. So I'm wondering if it's a main regulator problem. They installed it on the outside of the barn. I had nothing to do with it. I would imagine that they set it, but they might not have. So I'm curious. Tomorrow I'll go get the rest of the fittings I needed to get the manometer working, and I'll hook it up. Okay, after 3 trips to the hardware store, we're going to have to start putting a counter up here somewhere to count trips to the hardware store. I got the plumbing fixture now, so it will fit. I had to get this pipe here 45 to allow this here, because this originally wasn't clearing the gas valve. So I got it ran through this gas line, and if I did everything right, the water level's right here. Now, if I had food coloring, I'd have made this all pretty, but let's be real here. This is high quality for the Empire junk. So what we should see is when that gas valve turns on, this should jump from 0 to 10. If it doesn't, we got some adjusting to do. Okay, so that's our issue right there. It's just under 8 inches water column. I need to open that gas valve more until it's between 10 and 11 and a half. So while that's on right now, I have everything opened up. I'm going to take and unscrew that gas valve and see if it changes anything here. If not, that means I have a regulator issue outside. Okay, so my camera battery died. So what I was trying to explain is I was tightening it, or I was loosening it, thinking that would bring my pressure up, but I was thinking backwards. So actually I was dropping my pressure. So as I tightened it, it brought my pressure up to 10.5 inches water column, which should be, in theory, according to what it says, a good spot, because they call for between 10 and 11.5. I was all the way down to 8, and as I unscrewed it, backed it down to 7. So I tightened that back up, which opened that valve more and brought that up. So I'm gonna see how this heats and I'll let you guys know. Okay, so I got it all figured out now. I had to adjust my gas valve on the outside. I have it now reading 10.5 inches of water column. Between the bottom and the top here is where the sweet spot is. My justification for adjusting the gas valve is not because I thought that there was a problem. When I had the gas line installed, they put that valve in and they didn't adjust it anymore because nothing was hooked up in here. So my thought is that they put it on with factory settings, and it seems like factory settings were derated a little bit. So I didn't film it, but I hooked up to here with the manometer, and I turned my gas pressure up a little bit, a very little bit. But now it seems like enough. I was able to turn that regulator down 4 turns. Seems to be putting out good heat now. It's kind of warm in here, not terribly warm. About 57 degrees, and that's in a completely uninsulated building. I also, on the outside, put up that piece of soffit so it's not drawing in extremely cold air, so that could have helped me too. But now I'm going to take and get the furnace put back together. I've got these. I picked these up at Menards. They're going to allow me to put this cord in properly. I'll put the cord in properly. I'll seal all this back up, make sure I have no gas leaks. And then the furnace will be about buttoned up, minus what's left with the exhaust. Okay, I'm going to cut that episode off right there. It ended up going into more troubleshooting with the furnace than I thought. Next episode will be part 2 of this one, and it will just be running the power to the barn, putting up the panel, and running some wiring, getting a few things done like that. But by the end of next episode, we'll have power in the barn, and we'll be really close to working on getting insulation put up. But if you guys enjoyed that episode, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Also, check me out on Instagram at Don't Worry Junior Can Fix It. Over there, you can see all the upcoming projects I have. I post different pictures of different things that I found that'll be on the channel later. But anyway, I hope to see you guys next time. This is Junior, signing off.